fucking show. There we go. A little brain fart there.
Now is it one?
Yeah, now it's one.
Okay, one.
One. Hello.
One. Hi. How we doing, gang?
Juan.
How we doing, gang? How's everybody doing on Friday?
Happy Friday.
It's Friday.
It's Friday.
Got any hot plans tonight, Jen?
On Friday.
Got any hot plans? You gonna come play War Machine with us?
I mean, Love Island.
Is today the day?
Hanging out with the dogs.
Wait a minute. Did you just say Love Island?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's almost done. Almost like 2 episodes left.
Thank God. And then it's done forever, right?
Until next summer. Where it will then occupy like 6 weeks of my time. But I'm going to paint this weekend.
Are you?
Yeah.
You going to paint those cars?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Jen did some fun stuff. You tell them.
Well, so I was so motivated by the June challenge results of the vehicles, specifically the cars that were all decked out in Monument, that I went and got myself a couple cars. And I'm very excited. I'm excited about one of them. The other one I don't have any ideas for. I bought it because it looked cool. But I got a little Volkswagen Beetle, and it's going to be all Lisa Franked out. I'm super excited. So I hope you want to paint this weekend, because I want to paint this weekend.
Yeah, I'm painting this weekend. I have no end to things I need to be painting. I might be building some.
That counts.
I will be hobbying.
Good.
For pretty much the whole weekend.
Okay.
Just like last weekend.
Yeah.
I'm on a roll.
I know you are.
Holy cow.
Yeah. I like it. I like that you're excited.
I'm on a roll, chat. I'm painting the things.
Good way to escape the world for a little bit. Get yourself lost in your hobby. Ogre just got a new hobby desk, putting it together so you can paint in style. Nice. Johan 40K, it's Friday. Been painting for 20-ish hours over the last couple of days, so taking it easy now. You deserve a break. That sounds like a lot of work. 20 hours over a couple of days is a pretty marathon painting stretch.
Heck yeah, it is. I don't even do that. And I paint a lot.
Haley wants to know how your middle of the night meeting went.
It went very well. It was at 12:45. Everybody was on time. And the building was perfect. We did a virtual walkthrough of 3 units at a building that has 3 out of 4 units open. And so we did a walkthrough where Mally took his phone and walked through, and we picked the right unit for us. So we picked a unit. So the team over there is working with the realtor now to get the lease all done up. So we'll be good. We will be moving into a new building after our first year of full business in France.
It's very exciting.
We just crossed our first year mark.
Yes, we did.
Last week.
Yep.
So things are good. Thanks for asking.
Gillenborn
I actually stayed awake too. I didn't even nap. I didn't eat.
No?
I nodded off at the desk a little bit.
Did you?
I was like watching a video, and I was like, oh.
I'm awake.
And then that snap helped me out.
Yeah.
It was like, when you're driving and you kind of are like nodding off, it only takes one before you're like, not doing that again.
Do that when you're driving.
So.
Gillenborn probably pretty slim because we're not in the building with the go bags.
What's the question?
If he ordered an Evo, or if I were to order a go bag, what are the chances you could bring it to Gamers Guild?
Oh yeah,
tonight?
no.
They can bring it to you next week, because I think even Jason won't be there next week, but I think the rest of the guys probably will.
They're planning on it, yeah, because Super Duper John's coming to town too.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I won't be here.
Yeah.
I'm at the Adepticon barbecue next weekend.
Yeah, we don't have any in this building to be able to deliver to you. And the other building is closed today. And not really on the way.
No, I can't go over there and get in. Somebody would get mad at me for not doing it the right way.
Yeah.
I try hard not to interrupt my crew's method of doing things.
Yes. We don't touch things anymore. But remember that the crew is a Monday through Thursday now. So if you ever want that request, I mean, it might be something that they could accommodate as long as they know before the end of the day on Thursday.
Yeah, they can get it
6
over here to me,
p.m.
and then I can bring it Fridays for sure.
Yeah, so it would have to be earlier than 6 p.m. probably. How's Jason doing after the marathon painting stream yesterday?
Fine.
He just was saying, yeah, he stayed up. And he didn't even sleep in super late today.
No. I only need a good 7 hours, and I feel okay.
Yeah.
I like 8, but I rarely get 8. Either dogs or... My hip hurts. I'm old.
Yeah. We old.
But no, I got a good solid 7 hours of sleep. The meeting didn't take as long as I thought it would because the building was in great shape. We didn't have to ask a lot of questions of the realtor. And very happy about that. So we were done by like 1:30 or something. I thought I was going to have to go till 2, but we were done a little early.
Good. Fat Boy Gaming over on TikTok. Hello.
Hello.
We have a question from Rocco8907 on YouTube.
Hello, Rocco.
What color is this you've got now? Dark green brown into caramel brown.
Dark green brown into orange brown.
Orange brown.
Into khaki. Khaki is what I'm using right now. And then that leaves me enough space to do something like a pale yellow on some of the brighter spots later on if I want to give it more shine. But for now, I'm feeling pretty good with this. It gives me kind of that dull bronze look.
Oh, Sasquatch, you don't have to send us a gift. Tell your friends to buy Pro Acryl.
Yeah.
Or if you want to give a gift, maybe buy a set of Pro Acryl for a friend who doesn't use it.
The best gift in the world
That's the best gift for us.
Is paint for hobbyists.
Tay Thrash wants to know what brush you were using for the highlights.
I am using one of our Pro Sable number 4s right now. I've been painting lots and lots of models with the number 4 right now. This is one of our US made ones, but they're identical to our German made. If you look on the site, the only ones on the site are the full red handled Pro Sables that are made in Germany. We've recently started doing the US made Sables. They're exactly the same.
Yep.
Other than the color of the handle so that we can keep them identified for batching and customer service. So you'll see the wood handle with the red dip are the US ones, and we've only really sold those at Adepticon so far.
Cliff Jumper, you want to hear something scandalous? Jason doesn't love China chili. I love China chili.
I don't mind
Jason's
it. It's just not the
his
best.
First choice.
It's not the first choice.
I love it. Their orange chicken is so good.
It's pretty good. It's not great.
Their chicken is the best because it's not like all dried out.
Okay, yeah, true.
That's my problem with a lot of Chinese places. We don't have great Chinese food in Arizona. My biggest problem is that they fry the chicken in the breading, and it just gets so dry and gross. Blech. Don't like it.
Well, and a lot of it's like heat lamp, and I think that helps
Maybe.
with the drying out. Is that it sits there kind of like Chipotle or, you know.
Chipotle is fresh.
No.
It does not sit under heat lamps.
Oh, it does.
No. They make it as you order it.
Oh, it does.
He doesn't know. He doesn't go to Chipotle.
They have all the meat sitting there, but they don't fry anything, so.
They cook it in the back, and then they refresh it constantly in the front.
I don't like Chipotle.
Mm-hmm. Danger Boy said, any quick workup advice for brick, like old New York or even New Amsterdam? Don't know.
Just red brick?
I don't know what that means. I don't know.
I usually start with something like a mahogany or a dark brown, and then we'll move towards like red oxide would be great, or burnt red works great. You can add in a little bit of an orangishness to get like a terracotta feel if you want it to be raw or highly weathered. And then you can play around with all sorts of colors with brick, right? Because it's not always red, but browns, reds, oranges are what will do the trick.
Philip, I am like 99% sure that is false.
What?
Philip said, you know what else is cooked in the back and refreshed consistently? Panda Express.
That's literally...
That is the heat lamp.
Is the heat lamp cooking. Well,
Not
it isn't
Panda
because they
Express.
have to refresh it so much because so many people are eating it. That's the Chipotle thing. Is that they're moving through it so quickly that they're constantly refreshing it.
Small batch. Ghost Hunter said talking about chili is making me want to put fettuccine and feta cheese in some chili. And I think that's
you should.
where the confusion is, because feta cheese is not involved. It's fettu chili, like fettuccine, but it's feta chili.
Yep.
There's no feta cheese.
There
It's
is,
just
because we have a feta cheese version.
the Greek version.
We have feta chili.
Feta chili.
And then we have just feta chili. Feta chili is the overarching theme, but there is a feta chili on the menu. People are starting to get it. It's taken a while, but people are starting to come around to the whole thing. We had somebody in, was it Tim that cooked it? Somebody in our Discord did it.
I don't know. I didn't see that.
It's a thing. Taking the world by storm.
Hold on a second. Triller from YouTube. If I want to make a pink with one step, would you suggest thinning down shadow flesh and crimson over white primer?
To make a pink.
Pink.
The easy way is to take the one-step medium, if you have it, with pink or one of the magentas and do it that way, right? Like dark magenta and the one-step medium. Depends on the pink you're looking for, right? Because pink exists in a lot of forms. I typically think in various shades of magenta. But that would be my recommendation. The crimson is not going to get you to a pink unless you add white to it. So the flesh tone might get you a little bit of that. Let's try it real quick. Now you got me interested.
Cliff Jumper, you work at the VA. Well, we are like practically across the street from you right now.
Yep. Monument Studios are at 3rd Street and Indian School.
We can walk to China Chili. Now, not that we would right now because it's too hot, but we can.
Looking pretty good. Just a second.
Saga, I feel like this is someone you know. Soggy Socks said this old fart is pretty good. I like him, even if he is left-handed. First time chat.
I don't know.
Do you know Jason personally, Soggy Socks?
Where are they coming to us from?
Twitch.
Yep. Soggy Socks. Welcome, Soggy
Is
Socks.
that Chris? It's his stripper name.
I was going to say, that's just Chris's other stripper name.
One of his many.
One of the 50 stripper names that Chris has is Soggy Socks.
I said it the other day, I literally laugh out loud every time he says it.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot help myself.
We all do. That's the problem.
Name.
That's the problem, because he always gets you when you're least expecting it. with something like Soggy Socks, and you're like, that's my stripper name. And I do too. I tie it in because I don't want to give him the benefit of knowing I just laughed and that I thought he was humorous, but I laugh every time inside. Every time, chat.
Oh. Soggy Sock said, I just take advantage to call someone else an old fart when no one can see how old I am.
I feel your pain, baby. I feel your pain. Right there. I'm 56 years young. That's what I've told to say on the AAR. My AARP card says to say you're 56 years young. I don't have an AARP card. All right, so let's take some Shadow Flesh and some Crimson real quick, and let's see what we get. Let's do this. I'll even do a cup. Well, no, I won't. I don't need to do that. I don't need to waste a cup. I'll just do it on palette.
If you have questions during this demo, it really helps if you can @ Monument Hobbies so that I don't lose it.
Shadow Flesh
is from Canada, but does remote work for a company in Gilbert and comes down now and then. Well, just swing by next time.
All right, let's grab a bigger brush. And I don't know if I have a...
Jim Crimmon's old guy checking in.
Hey, what's going on?
I was offended when I got an application for AARP.
You were offended?
I was offended.
Why did you get offended?
Because that's rude.
That's rude. How dare you?
Although I'm probably more eligible than you since I don't work.
Rub it in, retiree. We're just going to have to do it on a robot. It's not going to make a lot of sense, but just going to have to do it on a robot.
Is that helmet or whatever, his head, is that one of the new metallics?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I thought so. It looks really good.
You know. So this is going to be,
not yet available.
It's a very fleshy pink.
Which one is this?
This is Crimson mixed with... One
Step Medium.
No. Crimson
1 Step.
Crimson mixed with Dark Flesh.
Oh.
So, you know, that's a great flesh tone. Like, that's a great base for, you know, very warm reddish flesh.
Let me see. We were looking for pink,
right? Is that pink enough for you? I think you'd need some white in it, right? Because the Crimson doesn't have enough yellow, I don't think, to really hold it. But that's a neat color. I really like that. It's not a combo I've made before out of the 1 Step, but it works well.
It's a good, like, rosy pink almost.
Yeah.
Like a dark.
Yeah, it's like rose, like a light rose almost. Or a faded rose. Pink. Neat color.
Yeah.
I think, you know, if you did this as your base and then went over it with pink, I think that would look great.
One Wolf said, that's a great base for raw meats.
Yeah. For open wounds. This is definitely a good open wound color right here. Right? I like that a lot. And that's just over pure white, so.
Mo, you know I am.
If I take a little bit of transparent white.
The Cult of Pink approves the stream.
So if I take a little bit of white, then a little bit of transparent white, and we get it. Right? I'm just going to get a damp brush with that. And if I do just a little bit of transparent white, then it makes it a lot lighter instantaneously.
A little bit behind the palette cam.
Oh,
there we go. That helps. Triller said, I do like the color a lot, but it's not quite what I had in mind. Does give me other ideas, though.
Yeah. I think from a color perspective, just a little bit of transparent white in that mix works well. But I think, you know, you're going to have a much better setup if you... Here, I'll just use a cup. Make my life easier here. Is magenta the kind of pink you're looking for? Our pink that we call pink is a little bit paler.
It is pretty pale.
Which one of these is more like what you're thinking? I got magenta. I have dark magentas. Does one of these work so I can show you?
Triller was on YouTube, so we'll give him a second because there's a bit of a delay over there.
Reminds you of crab meat? Yeah, it does, kind of. More magenta. Okay, cool.
More magenta. Okay. Jeff Brando, that's a good question. We will get to that when he is finished with this demo.
I wipe paint off of one finger, and then grab the paper towel with where I wipe the pink off with the other finger, and then I'm like, oh, now I have pink on all my fingers. This is great. So this is just magenta with one-step medium, right? And this is going to be, I think, more to your liking, right? Because
that's a good pink.
Yeah, now you get it to where it's going to just be. That's why I say the one-step medium is the king at getting you the right color for the right thing that you're looking for. Because it just turns it all into it. I just went heavy slop on there for the color, but I think that would be much better.
Triller, do you have the one-step medium to be able to do this? And magenta?
And typically about 3 to 1 medium to paint to get that done. You don't have to add any water, just medium.
Stan, I'm not involved in this. This was a question from chat.
Somebody blame you for why are we painting pink?
Has Jason done something to upset you? So he's painting lots of pink so you forget? Nope.
I was asked.
Jeff Brando said, what one-step mixes have you tried that you keep going back to?
Ooh, I think that the thing that I've been using the most since release has been it's not really a mix, it's putting yellow down first, right? The warm yellow on the model, and then coming back over the top of that with crimson. Gives such a good, warm, reddish orange color that really looks good on like the Uroni models that I've been doing. So that I think is the one that takes the cake that I keep coming back to, is yellow as a base first, and then the green over the top of that works great. So yeah, I think that would be my answer. Mixes I haven't had to, because I pretty much have just been using like dark blue black. It's by far my favorite so far in how it is usable over various chromatic undertones. So, if you've been watching the development of my Tau army, you'd see that, over a pale yellow, the dark blue black gives a neat chromatic black that's kind of green. And then on the Dusk War Machine army, the same dark blue black over a white and black undercoat, basic zenithal, is great because it just gives you the blue black that you want. So it's a chromatic black that leans a little more blue. So just super, super flexible.
Yeah, I got you, Haley. I was noticing it was not fitting properly. Zombie Lives on TikTok said, I love your go bag. It's an on-the-go studio. Good stuff. Thank you.
It is tremendous.
It's amazing. That thing is, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's tremendous. It's one of my favorite inventions. I'm the product development guy here, and we make a lot of really cool stuff, but I had some of the most fun and the most rewarding, I think, since Pro-Acryl, of having when the go bag showed up the first time when we got the sample for it, and it showed up here from the factory, and I opened it, and we were like all just like, oh my God, it is perfect. Yeah. It just fit the bill. They nailed it. We have a really, really good design partner that took my design and showed me, because when I design things, I kind of do it in a vacuum. I don't know what makes a bag structurally sound. I just know what I want it to do. But we have a really, really good design firm that partners with us here in the States that takes my crazy ideas and turns it into functional, can actually hold on your shoulder and be comfortable kind of a thing, which was important.
Matzo Strill said, "Is Chris suspended? What's going on?" Yep.
He's suspended
gone.
till Monday.
Till Monday.
We work a 4-day work week here at Monument Hobbies.
Well, we don't.
Well,
but
everybody else, those lazy bastages, get a 4-day work week. I, on the other hand, have to work every day, and then Jen comes and fills in for Chris on Fridays. So if you hang out around the stream on Fridays, Jen is here taking over producer duties. Jen is the OG.
I'm the OG
stream producer. We started this together.
Very first one.
We started this together
10 years ago.
Yeah. She was the one producing the stream all those years ago.
Producing back then was I would read the questions while Jason would paint, so he didn't get distracted.
Yeah, exactly.
And it really allowed us to make the stream more of a teaching opportunity, because Jason would be so focused on his painting and people would be asking him questions and he wouldn't see them. And so when I heard him say, "Okay, let me stop what I'm doing and get to some of your questions," I was like, well,
what if
let me sit in and just read the questions for you, and then that way you can answer them as you continue to paint.
Yeah.
And there we go.
The rest is history. Turns out it worked.
Shadowcast wants to know if this is your dark green to pale yellow non-metallic.
No. This is dark green, brown, orange, brown, and khaki. This is bronze. Right? As opposed to gold.
Oh, yeah.
You can see the browns show up when you actually put a yellow next to it. Mm-hmm. These are in the family of yellow, but not yellow. Right? So this is the dark yellow-green to pale yellow through like warm yellow and yellow ochre kind of a thing that I would do normally when doing gold. This gives me the ability to do bronze, but still have it read really well. Bronze is a strange metal because, it's copper and tin. And so it really doesn't have a yellow metal. It has that copper reddish, and then the tin, which is a white metal. It gives off a little bit of a yellowishness when it's in its raw form. As you polish it, it turns into a silver, right? It's a very white, reflective metal that can give some really crazy effects, because as I would polish bronze, it shines to silver in the high spots, but if you leave some spots unpolished, it has a neat kind of warm, yellowish, orangish, coppery tone in the midtones and shadows. So it can be a really fun metal to play with.
Spatsnet said Jen is the producer. Chris fills in for Jen Monday through Thursday.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Corrected. That feels right.
Zilfer said, "Just wanted to say I think you guys picked really awesome quality t-shirts to print on. Loving the merch I got yesterday. So comfy.
Isn't it good? Holy cow, our shirts had an upgrade. Gabe did a great job.
Now, yeah, Gabe did a good job on picking the
Gabe did a great job in picking the shirts. They are really high quality. I've been enjoying the heck out of them. They don't shrink in the wash. They are fantastic. The quality of the print is really high. Just a great job all around.
Yep.
They really are good.
The hats are good too.
It's all good.
It's all good. Snowblinky would like to know how many light sources you're imagining for your non-metallic metal, or is it just bouncing?
This one?
He usually just picks one.
This one? You're doing secondary points of reflection from other things on the model, whether it's the hand or the shoulder plate reflecting back in. You got to remember that everything that's metal that has a bright reflection becomes a light source of its own. So as I do cylinders like this, right, if you look at a cylinder, like just look at the ferrule here, right, this cylinder, which is kind of more of a cone, right, gives you a reflection point here. And then you'll see that reflection point split from time to time. If I alter it like this, you'll see a reflection point high and then one down low. If I rotate it this way, there you go. You got one on one side, that's a little bit lighter on the other side, right? So it's not necessarily that it's different points of light. It's that this is, this reflection here is me and my fingers here, right? Versus this one that's the light. So you're always just trying to, when you have the shape of a cylinder, which is what this is right here. This is a cylinder. It also has all these crazy things, coming out from it, but overall it's a cylinder. And so if I go through the cylinder, I've got a main point of reflection that's up here at the top, and then some secondary reflections that are other things in the environment reflecting back against it. And then you just try to maintain your vibrancy. Like this one will get pale yellow over it to brighten it up even further. This one might get a little, and this one will get none. So that it darkens those as they go around, so that they are just reflections of things in the distance, like maybe the shoulder plate reflecting back to here. I don't really think about it too specifically unless I'm painting a display piece. This is just a gaming piece. So as long as it reads as metal, you can just kind of go hog wild. You want to keep the light coming from general same direction so that it makes sense. You don't want to have reflections on the bottom of a thing and then the top of a thing on the other part of the model. But so for me, this is just a 10 o'clock like that.
Mo, so they explained this yesterday. The 5-panel doesn't have a seam in the front, is that right?
And right, 5-panel hat has a flat. It's what you would call a flat brim hat. You can still bend the brim, but a 5-panel hat is flatter on the brim and no stitch in the middle of the forehead. A 6-panel hat has a stitch in the middle of the forehead and is more your traditional bend the bill baseball hat. I prefer the 6-panel with the stitch in the middle because I like the bill of my hat to bend aggressively. Like stick it in your back pocket aggressively. Chris likes the one without the stitch because he doesn't like the design interrupted, and also he likes a flatter bill. Both great hats, both sizes the same, just the way the bill wax, and whether or not it has that seam in the middle.
Scorched said, I got my hobby nerd hat. I'm convinced if I wear it while painting, I'll instantly be better. Going to test it out today.
100%. It's amazing. I believe in you. You can do it.
Danger Boy said, I forgot to say thank you so much for the shirts. My wife likes them and said I look good in it. The colors are so nice.
What colors did you get?
Oh, that came blue and sage.
Nice. The sage is a good green.
Are you making Blink Twice t-shirt?
I need to. That would be so good. That'd be so good. It would have to have a little quote at the bottom of it that says, he's fine. From Chris. It would say, he's fine in quotes, and then dash Chris. Blink twice.
Oh, Mo wants to know where the unicorn shirt is.
She retired. She didn't get a shirt anymore. You got to work for a shirt. I guess you come here on Friday.
I did get a pink hat, though, that nobody else has.
Man, that pink hat is rad,
one of
too.
a kind.
Yeah, Jen's pink hat is good looking. I like it more than I like my red and black hat.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't wear it, but...
You know what other color I think would be really nice? Is like a turquoise.
Oh, yeah.
That would be really pretty. I'm going to ask Gabe for that when he's back on Monday.
Pretty soon Jen's just going to have all the colors in her wardrobe.
Yeah. Hats every day.
She's going to ask for upside down print.
Can you please put it upside down?
Your t-shirt has it upside down. Join us, but it's upside down.
Shadowcast said, can I get the colors for the bronze again? Sorry, I'm going to write them down.
Yeah, dark green brown as a base. Then orange brown over the top of that. And then this is khaki. No mixing. Super simple. Trying to keep it very low key. This model's got enough transition of shape that your effort is all going to be applied to just making sure all these crazy shapes are done right. So the more you can simplify your color scheme, I think the better. So it's just 3 colors. None of them mixed.
That Chai Cat wants to know if there was a harsh but fair shirt.
We need that too. Except it needs to be an extra long shirt that has the print on the back at your tramp stamp. That's the whole joke with that. Harsh but fair. That's his tramp stamp tattoo.
Oh, Black Wolf wants to know if there's a camo pattern. Need a camo hat. That would be good.
I'm sure they have them that we could open up. We didn't open up all the colors.
Yeah.
Again, we just wanted to make sure that the designs were kicking and that people really liked it, and then we'll start going and doing more. You'll see
They've been
lots
pretty popular.
More. Yeah, no, it's been great. But then Gabe left town.
Gabe left.
Gabe said, it's live, and then he ditched us.
Yep.
Freaking guy. Acts like he has all this vacation time.
Poppy Clappy on TikTok wants to know what Star Wars character this is.
This is Obi RD3PO.
Cyberspy, I have to ask, are you blending or glazing? Because I'm trying to figure out glazing still.
No, I'm not. I'm just painting. There's no special technique going on. I guess some of this is glazing where I'm doing very thin coats of the bright color so that it blends with the orange brown beneath it to give me an in-between, like a hybridized version of it. So there's, I have a video out on YouTube that's called Just Do This. And it shows you how I apply color so that you can make fewer colors do more work for you. So you've got the dark green brown that you can see in the darkest spots, then the orange brown as we go up, and then the khaki here in the brightest. And so every time I'm going between khaki and the orange brown, I glaze a little like through here. So you can see the orange brown and it just brightens the orange brown a bit, right? Versus like down here. So I'm glazing the first layer of khaki on and then more opaque when I want it brighter. So that's kind of what I'm doing down here, glazing it over the orange brown and then brighter on a line down the center. And I'm about to glaze a little bit on the top surface here. So I'll see if I can't keep it centered while I do that. So just a little bit more water on my brush, go get the paint, and then you'll always see me take a bunch of the paint off over here and you'll see kind of how thin it is when I'm glazing, right? So it's very see-through, but still has enough pigment to be impactful. And then I just want to make sure I don't have very much wetness on the brush. So I get it to where I know that there's not a lot flowing off. Then I'll come down here and I'll just make sure that I keep my brush moving towards where I want the color, like this. So from the dark to that bright line that I made. And then same way back here. And I'll do one layer like this. And that just kind of brightens up that surface a little bit. And then if I've got enough paint on here, I could come down and do the same thing down here. I don't know if I have enough color here for this to matter, but trying to get the most out of it, I'll glaze a little bit down here where I know I need to have some of that color too, even though I don't have the bright spot laid out yet, and that'll help pull that in. Then I go back, and without adding more moisture to the brush, I just go get more paint. So I didn't wash the brush or anything, and now you'll see it's much more opaque. And then I can come in and like down here where I've done that first glaze, I can come back and start adding in, if I can get the brush angled properly, that bright line there. And grab that rivet, of which there are 50 million on War Machine.
Jeff Before Dishonor, in response to the what Star Wars character, Jeff Before Dishonor said it's Obi-Wan. Juan Kenobi from Brazil.
Oh, I had it wrong.
And I'm adding that he's a footballer and he played in the World Cup. What model is this really, though?
This is the Death Jack.
Death Jack.
Death Jack.
War Machine.
From War Machine for the Crix faction.
Crix.
Figure out an angle where I can actually get, this overhang is a pain in the butt right here, so I'm going to have to be very careful and try to get in here and see if I can't get some color.
Kruger wants to know why Lego is more expensive than all miniature board games. We don't make Lego, so I can't answer that question.
Because more people think it's cool.
Supply and demand.
It is. Because people will pay the money for it. That's always the answer. It's only worth what people will pay. So now I go back with a thin layer again, and now that my glaze has had some time to dry, I'll do the same thing and pull it in. I notice that I don't have enough color on that, so more water than color. Go back and get some more. And do it again, kind of splitting the area, so I'm only glazing in the last half. I glazed all the way out here originally, now I'm just doing it down here. Where's my bright spot? And again, like right here.
Meeple, don't eat the paint.
And that lets you just kind of, keep between a true layer that you're applying and then a glaze, and then you layer and you glaze, and then maybe I come back and smooth this rough blend out with another little glaze. So you'll find your stride on using opaque and non-opaque paint one after the other. It's the same color. You just apply it in more water diluted to it so that you get more of a glaze, then come back, do it opaque, and then keep swapping back and forth between those. Is typically the best way to paint. If you attack it where you're like, I'm going to paint this model with glazes, then you're kind of limiting yourself, because glazing is great, but it's not going to do 100% of the work you need it to do in most cases.
Jeff before Dishonor said, I'm trying to learn glazing but can't find the sweet spot. Either too much water or not enough material. Would glaze and wash medium help? Yes. Curious about the ratios.
With glaze wash medium, I'm typically saying that you're somewhere in the biggest part of that is how opaque do you need the color, right? Because you can glaze at various consistencies to where you barely have any color, and you can glaze a heavy single coat glaze that has lots of color on it, right? And is more opaque, gives you more intensity with one brush stroke. So you're going to have to learn per color, and you're going to have to identify what it is you're trying to do with the glaze you're making in order for that to be figured out. But I would say normally you're at about 3 or 4 to 1. You can start 50-50 and see how it goes, but most the opaque colors in acrylics will overpower it, and you won't really get the dilution you're looking for. So I think something like more 3-4 to 1, something like that, will give you a really good starting point. And yes, with regards to the glaze wash medium, it can help a lot to manage the viscosity. When we thin paint, there's 2 things happening. You are first thinning the opacity. So if you add a medium or water is technically a medium. It's a solvent, so you can put water in your paint when it's a water-based paint like ours, and that will dilute it, and that will dilute its opacity, make it more see-through. And then the second thing you're diluting is the viscosity. Okay? And viscosity is the fluidity of the paint. How much does it flow? Does it flow like water? Water is very low viscosity. Does it flow more like oil? Then it's a higher viscosity. And our paints are fairly low viscosity, comparatively speaking, but within, various acrylic paints, you can have some that feel thicker. The medium will make the paint feel like paint as you're glazing with it, because it keeps it a little bit thicker. Whereas water will make it runnier, and so it makes it a little harder to control. So until you're really comfortable with that, it might be better to use the glaze wash medium so that you spend more time learning the dilution for opacity and getting the paint where you need it to be from how much you can see through it, and feel better about how it feels off the brush, because it still feels like you're painting with a paint. And then get used to adding water into that mix so that you can get more confidence with doing it quickly and not having to mix medium in every time you go and want to glaze. Because I just use water unless I'm teaching. In most cases, I use the glaze wash medium a lot with airbrushing. One thing I really dislike about 3D prints, these are all the War Machine, well, not all, but most of the War Machine models are 3D prints. The one thing I dislike about 3D prints is that there's so many areas where the supports for the 3D print leave these little nubbins along the edge of an armor piece or something, and some of them are super hard to clean because you didn't have it in separate pieces. It was just this bottom of the torso, and so getting the nubbins off of the bottom of a line is very hard because you can't get to it to scrape it off. And so when you go to paint the edge, when you go to paint the edge highlight, it is like divots. It has those little bitty bumps on it. It makes it look like pimples on it, and it's frustrating because you can't clean them all. You just can't get a tool in there to clean them without scratching the whole model up. So kind of a bummer sometimes.
Nubbins got no lovin's.
No love for the nub.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Put that on a t-shirt. There's no love for the nub.
Ghost Hunter said, I blame Phil for not cleaning the model well enough.
I built this. we can't do that to Philip. Philip was very good, and Philip built us the next model that we're going to paint.
Oh, Philip is here.
Philip
said Nubbins got no lovin'.
Next week, I plan to start doing this guy, I think. I got to come up with a color scheme over the weekend. I got to plan it out because we're going to record a bunch of it, and it's going to become a tutorial for Parabellum.
Oh, nice.
So they can use it as a painting guide, which I think is really cool.
AG DeJohn wants to know if any plans for Monument to produce plastic models.
No. Yes.
Oh.
Did she just say no?
I said no.
Yeah. We actually have a sculpt that is in design development right now. I came up with a design. I worked with Ricardo, one of our artists, to finalize the design, and then we have one of our sculptors who has worked out the T-pose on it so far, but I kind of stopped in the middle because I want to come up with the adversary to the character. The idea being that we will be coming out with some on-sprue models that would come in a beginner paint set or that you could buy on your own for painting, that would be in the 35 to 38 millimeter range. So a little bit bigger, like Terminator Space Marine size. But yeah, we're thinking about it. I don't guarantee it ever sees the light of day, but I'm really happy with the character design right now. I'm not as happy with the way the sculpt is turning out currently. But that's just a design thing. I got to get some more information to the sculptor to explain what some of the parts are. It's not as self-evident.
Roadside Miniature said, I heard you call my name for some Wizards bet the other day. Sucks that I missed it, but at least I already have it. Don't think I've actually opened it yet, but I have it. Well, a few good things. One, that allowed someone else to get it, which is great for the community. Maybe someone who didn't have one. And another good thing is that your name goes back into the drawing. So you can win another time. Make sure to follow us on social media or join our Discord so that you get the notifications of when we are doing the giveaway stream.
Yep.
We do one every week.
Every week.
And it helps if you're here, because you can't win if you're not here.
Can't win if you're not here.
And we like it when you're here, because then when we call your name, you respond, and we get to send you a prize, and we don't have to do it like 50 times.
You got it in 3 this last week, at least. Wasn't it 3? It was 3.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was 3.
I left, because it was yesterday. I had to go to Tempe. So
that's right.
I missed it, so I don't know how it went yesterday.
Yeah, it was 3. Got in 3.
When does the year of giveaways end? At the end of the year.
Yep. Started January 1. Goes till December 31st. On the last stream of the year, we will be doing the annual giveaway where everybody again is eligible. Everybody that's won a quarterly or a weekly or any of that, the whole community will be eligible again. And we are giving away the grand prize is one of everything we make. It'll be a big shipment.
Roadside said, my only regret was hearing someone try to say my last name.
What was it?
Guarantee It was butchered.
Yeah, Chris is really not great with
We
that.
all tried. It was a team effort though, so we probably got it. Because that was when, I'm guessing it was last week on Friday.
Oh, maybe
because
so.
yesterday they didn't give
the birthday stream.
Yeah, that's what would be.
Oh
my
yeah,
guess.
because we gave away we tried to give away a
whole
dozen
bunch.
Wizards butts.
Yeah, I think we made it to 10.
The butt sets.
Yeah.
And we only gave away 10 because there were too many people not here. Too many winners not around.
Lots. Malandrino. That's not hard. Unless it's Malandrino or something. Didn't Chris mispronounce Jared? I don't know.
Yes.
Did he?
J-Rod.
J-Rod.
I was like, that's Jared. He goes, no way, I have a friend named Jared. It's not like that. Like Christopher. Yeah.
Some people get creative with spelling of names.
Philip and I gave him hell.
Oh, was that
Jared.
yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh.
We're like, that's Jared. Watch the person come on and go, no, it's J-Rod. Dang it. It's so fun to watch this come alive with just the base coat on the rest of it. Because I only put the orange brown on these parts, and then I got bored and started painting it. So I have all the rest of it is just the dark green brown. I haven't even done the orange brown on other stuff. So I'm getting fast to a point where I can't continue on much anymore. I have to go back to orange brown.
Is the rest of it going to stay this whatever blue, blacky?
Yeah, black
color?
armor.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. Kind of like a bluish black. I like the kind of, it gives it more of a almost gray feel to it with the bronze. I think is good. Makes it a little bit different than the other armies I'm painting with the black. I'm painting a lot of black armor here lately for my armies, and so I want to make sure I don't fall victim to, oh yeah, every army looks identical.
Roadside, I used to be a teacher, so I have experience with pronouncing all kinds of names.
Trying to get the names right.
Yeah, because Malandrino was pronounced correctly.
It's Melandrino.
Malandrino.
Melandrino.
Ron.
Yeah, see, every now and then I think Chris is trying purposefully to do that. Because sometimes it's like, Chris?
Be nice. Classic. Danger Boy, your wife's a teacher? You don't have to thank me. I don't do it anymore. I gave up.
She decided to run a nerd business. She had already quit being a teacher by the time I met her.
Yes, I was not teaching. I quit teaching in 2014.
So it didn't have anything to do with me.
I still worked in the education realm.
It didn't have anything to do with me before you guys get smart.
And then I did go back to work at a school for a brief moment right before we started Monument.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You were the vice principal.
Yeah. Oh, Bud. That is a fantastic idea.
What's that?
Bud said, what do you think of designing a Kevin Bacon hero model and painting it up to present to him next year when he plays a show?
Oh, heck yeah.
That would be amazing.
I'm in.
Chris only messes up on purpose so much so that when he actually messes up, he can claim it was on purpose.
Correct. Is that Philip saying that?
No.
I was going to say, that seems like a Philip. The thing Philip's giving up the goods. Spitting the truth.
Haley said, in my day-to-day work, I see a lot of lists of names, and I see some interesting ones. There are a surprising number of guys aged 35 to 45 named Zebulon.
What?
I have
Zebulon?
so many questions.
Yeah, where do you live?
Are these like their social handles where they make
Zebulon.
Zebulon, or is like that their like government name on their birth certificate?
Zebulon.
Zebulon.
That's interesting to me.
Philip said that sounds like something I'd say.
Right? Nailed it. I'm going to go to bright pale yellow and do a little bit of highlighting on this. See how we like it? I could use bright ivory. Which one's better here? Bright ivory.
Danger board dodged your list. I'm 55 plus, named Zeb. Washington State government name. What?
Zebulon.
Zebulon. Is it
Interesting.
like a, I don't know.
Aliens
it
are
feels
among us.
Scientology, like a Scientology name or something like that.
Aliens are among us. Why is it in my head that I have Zebulon Pike? Is this a character from something? When you said Zebulon, Pike came into my head. I don't know why.
Oh, it's biblical, not Scientologist. It sounds very outer spacey to me. Like alien, like it would be, or a character on like Battlestar Galactica. Some odd religious sects where I live. Tech Elf gotta protect that stream streak. What are you rehearsing for? Oh, look at that.
What?
Avian and Snowblinky both confirm that Zebulon Pike is a real person. American Brigadier General and Explorer, Zebulon Pike, American soldier,
there
and
you
the
go.
eponym of Pike's Peak.
There you go. Pike's Peak.
Look at that.
Look at
Isn't
me.
that up in that area?
Look at me.
Isn't Pike's Peak in like Washington or Oregon?
Look at me.
Or is it Colorado? I don't know.
That was one of those weird ones where I'm like, why did Pike just pump into my head? Something that I was taught in grade school just came flooding back.
Colorado. Okay, interesting.
Just came flooding back from grade school days.
Okay, now I guess I understand. Now I feel bad that I mocked the name Zebulon. People are history buffs.
I am not, but I'm the one that remembered.
I mean, all the people naming their kids Zebulon 35 to 45 years ago.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Some big resurgence. There should be a sci-fi character named Zebulon.
There is. I guarantee there is. So this is back to the deets and the doots. The smallest amount of paint you'll put on will have the biggest impact, right? Because that then brightens that up quite a bit.
The Adventures of Zebulon and Xenu. Exactly.
Like I mentioned before, as you go to brighter colors and you go away from the hot spot of your main reflection, which is up here, you do less and less of it as it falls off and let those mid-tone colors take over.
Philippi said it went well. They picked out a spot. And he said he only nodded off at his desk once for a minute before.
Like at 12:30, right before I was supposed to get on the call at 12:45. And Mally did a great job. He let me know that everybody was there, and then we were off and running. Very easy.
Yeah.
And Jose joined me. So
Oh,
Jose's a trooper. That's his day off.
Yeah. That's why he was probably fine staying up late. He didn't have to get up and be to work by 7 o'clock. Spatsnat would like to know, for a one-step gun Star Wars blaster, would you go with dark blue black or graphite gray?
I would go dark blue black, I think. I mean, I did. When I did all of my blasters for Legion, it was dark blue black. This I want to glaze. I want to get back down to a glaze consistency. So again, get rid of most of the moisture. I may not have enough color here, but I want to be very careful with it as I'm glazing something like this where it can over brighten an area. So having less pigment on it is a great start, and then more layers to get it where you want, as opposed to knocking out your value right out of the gates. This allows me to put it on there and blend that bright line in and get that nice transition across the top there where the biggest reflection is. Same for this area up here. I just want to make sure I'm brightening it up, but doing it in a way that doesn't interrupt the staging of value that I already have. And that works pretty good. Boom.
Oh, hello, Jordan Lamb.
Hello, Jordan.
Baby J.
Jordan? Hey, Jordan, I've decided I don't like War Machine anymore. You'd have a conniption. Everybody's so into it right now. That's like the big April Fool's joke. Got him! Jordan didn't care. He's like, I'm playing it anyway.
Danger Boy said, my wife just came in and asked if I have a really nice dark purple she could use for a project. I said, do I ever?
Oh my God. Do we
Which
have
one? Was it just dark purple?
the king of dark purple?
I said, excuse me? Jordan on the lam. Call him Criminal J.
Not going to admit to it, but we might have Kador and Old Umbry coming. Maybe. Jin laughs.
I believe it. A dyslexic mini painter wants to know what the workup would be in the expert acrylics for this armor.
Ooh, great question. I mean, in the experts, you would have to mix. You could do the burnt umber and okay, so for the dark green brown, umber and sap green, most likely. And then I think I would take the umber and the nickel azo yellow. It won't be as orange in that mid-tone as the orange brown was. So you could probably add, a little bit of pyrrole orange to that if you wanted to. You could try just pyrrole orange and umber. That might work, but I think that's gonna be too much. But that might give you the orange brown you want. And then on the khaki side, that's probably where the nickel azo yellow and the white would be the goal, right? And then just add more white to that for the bright ivory. I think works great. Great question.
We've got Pen Pressure over on TikTok saying, good evening from France.
Hello.
Good afternoon
Bonjour.
from Arizona. Where in France? Monument Hobbies Europe is based in France as well. Avian, they get delivered to our house, but he brings them here. I think. I don't know. Unless he takes them into his office. All the models that you're getting.
Oh, yeah.
Because here is where all the painting happens.
They used to just get delivered here, but we don't have people on site to get them
all the time.
So now we just get them all sent to the house until we get this place either turned into the experience center or sell this building and have a new studio. At which point, then they'll go there.
If anyone is interested in buying a 10,000 square foot building in Phoenix, Arizona,
We've
got one.
We got you.
Well, tomato, I have lived here the majority of my life, and my shoes have never melted to the sidewalk.
The melted trash cans and the pictures you see. I'm like, come on, dude.
I've never had a trash can melt.
Never.
I do know you can bake cookies in your car.
That
I've
is
not
true.
done that, but I do know people who have.
On your dashboard, you can make cookies.
And it makes your car smell great.
And fried eggs. Oh my God, can you imagine your car smelling like that forever?
I would love it.
Fresh baked cookies.
Yeah. Sounds like a dream. Hello, Repray. That is a war machine. Is a death jack?
Yeah.
Look at me.
Look at me.
Paying attention.
What faction is it for, Jen? This could be the turning
Pricks.
point.
Did I get it?
Oh my God.
Do I win a prize?
You win a prize. You get more punches on your nerd card than Chris does.
I did not know any of those answers before today. Jeff Before Dishonor said, I've never played War Machine, but since watching these streams, I looked into their models and saw a troll throwing a shark from Creels. Sold. Yep. How does War Machine play compared to something like Bolt Action? I have limited gaming experience.
Oh, yeah. So that's a great question because you picked two of my favorite systems of all time. Bolt Action and War Machine. Bolt Action I love because of the turn activation, the dragging your operation die from a bag randomly so that you wind up with an attrition of activation points, because if somebody pulls a lot of their activations first, then you know you're going to run out of them and the other person's going to have a lot, so it turns the tide of battle in a really neat random way. So Bolt Action plays, but then outside of that, Bolt Action plays pretty much in a pretty straightforward way, right? You put the action die on next to the unit and what it's going to do, and then you do the thing. And then it can go unit by unit as opposed to I go, you go, which I'm a big fan of. So other than that, Bolt Action is, how many dice does this unit roll against that dice? Are you in range? Roll the dice. What happens? It has some other things like pinning and some neat things that aren't just hit, kill, that are hit, don't wound, but pin them so they duck their heads down. So it has some real narrative play to it. So Bolt Action is one of the games that I think is better in a narrative sense than almost anything, because it has very asymmetric scenarios as well, where you might have an army that starts with its whole army on the board, like the Germans start with everything and the Americans start with next to nothing, and then the Americans get more units every turn, but the Germans don't get anything new. So they have some neat storytelling things that are meant to represent battles across World War II. So it has a little bit of that, a lot of that historic element to it that's intended to be narrative and create fun in that gameplay. You can also just put your armies on the table and play. War Machine is smaller armies, typically. I think that I have a list that has 50 miniatures in it. That's a heavy infantry list. It doesn't have as many of the warjacks, the big beasts and robots. I have a list that only has 23 miniatures in it. So, and they're both the same point value. So it gives you a broad span of how much hobbying you want to do. You can do very, what I would call lighter hobbying, and that's at the tournament point level of 100 points. There's 30, 50, 75, and 100 point ways to build the list. So you can start scaling from there. You can see that, like, if you had 50 models at 100 points, you might have 25 or 30 at 50 points, and so on and so forth. It's not completely linear because bigger models cost more. So it's neat from a meta standpoint. In War Machine, the whole goal of the game is that your leader is everything. The model that represents the leader of your force is pretty much your whole army, in the sense that it sets the pace of what the army wants to do. The leader comes with a list of spells, and they have an ultimate called a feat that they can use once per game that does game altering things, like huge, altering things. Like every enemy model is pushed 6 inches away when it's in your control range of 14 inches. So it can have big, huge impact to the battlefield and be almost like, playing the ultimate combo in like a Magic the card game. So you can imagine how you have like most of the factions have 5 or 6 leaders that you can choose from. You can keep your army the same, but just swap out the leader, and now the whole army plays differently, because one leader might support your units and make them more defensive, while another one makes them more offensive and shooty. And so you get to kind of, I would say that in a general sense, it has fewer models overall, but more you can do with those models than any other game, right? Whereas 40K, a unit of Space Marine Scouts is going to be a unit of Space Marine Scouts, and maybe the Ultramarine ones do one more thing than the Dark Angels ones or something like that, but they're just Scouts, and they always play like Scouts. In this game, particular units can feel very different depending on what kind of support units and leader is with them. So you might not play your riflemen in one list, but then you have another caster that makes them totally OP, and you play riflemen in that one. So it's pretty fun in that regard. It's I think it can go 6 or 7 turns max. Very scenario oriented, very capture the point scenario, protect the point, kill the other guy. It always has a win condition in it called assassination. So if you kill the opponent's leader, you win the game no matter what happens. So a lot of lists are built as assassination lists. They do combos and wacky things where if I can pull these 3 things off, you're dead, and you can't even really do anything about it. But pulling the 3 things off is tough. So it becomes very dynamic. I love it. It's been my favorite game of all time to just go play. Like, I'll go play tonight. We've gotten a lot of the guys around here, so it's great. It's more chess than checkers. 40K is checkers, War Machine is chess. And a lot of people get offended when I say that. You don't know 40K, but that is the truth. War Machine is more about what the piece does and how it rallies around its leader to do that in a certain situation that your opponent has presented you, as opposed to 40K that doesn't really have a central leader, king, queen setup that plays around. It's just a more advanced chess, because all the units also have special abilities and things they can do, and lots of combos and things that your army probably has a half a dozen combos it can pull off in various forms, and during the course of the game, depending on what your opponent does, is which one of those combos you set up to play with. It's a lot of fun.
All right.
Your wife vetoed you naming your daughter after Kaya, the Wildborn. I think her name was Kaya the Wildborn. Yeah, I had almost every model, or almost every army in War Machine. I've been playing since Mark 1, since it came out. And I only left it at the end of Mark 3 when they got kind of stupid in what they were doing. They were kind of like when GW blew up the old world with fantasy, they kind of pulled one of those, and it lost me. So I didn't enjoy the gameplay at the end of Mark 3 at all. But we have a great community here. A lot of the same people that were here at the end of Mark 3 are still playing, and one of them in particular, Chris Z, here locally, is a great community guy to have. He just is such a positive impact on the War Machine community here. He probably doesn't even know how positive he is. I hope he does. Chris, if you're listening, thank you. He's a great guy, and he's kept it alive. Like, he shows up and has a good energy for the game and has been around since I came to Phoenix, really.
Grand Deceiver said, aside from the second one-step set, have you made all of the Gen Con product announcements you're going to make this year?
Yeah, the only thing that we're bringing out there is the one-step set 2.
Set 2.
Yeah, we typically don't do multiple releases. It's rare. Sometimes sometimes the timing would say that we would have something else that it's the first time you've really seen it at a convention, but yeah, we don't. We're not a company that just throws a tremendous amount of new releases out there. We really rely on the fact that, there are a lot of people getting into the hobby every day, and we can focus on, doing what we do here, which is teaching people to paint rather than, having to have something new all the time. I love new releases, but, we always joke, like, there's only so many colors you need.
Mm-hmm.
And so you won't find us doing too crazy of a thing. We had something we were hoping to have there that isn't going to be there, but it'll be forthcoming.
Disable this is from War Machine, if that wasn't clear when he was explaining the game.
This is a character warjack, which are big kind of battle engine type monstrosities that can gain a personality over time, that are controlled. I guess the story, I don't know if psychically is the right way, but kind of psychically. They form a bond with their leader, and the leader pushes them and powers them up to have them go do stuff. And this one is a character one called the Deathjack. It is, I think, one of the longest existing character warjacks in the game. We discussed that yesterday, and I don't know which other ones are still around. I know Old Rowdy's gone from Signar, and we kind of talked about some of the others. Behemoth is still there for Khador. But they may be the only ones.
Lighting question from Jay Matthias on YouTube.
Yeah.
Painting a space marine in the sun who has a large torch on its backpack. I know the sunfire doesn't really cast OSL, but should the fire itself look like the sun?
Look like the sun? How do you mean? Like color-wise? Let me understand what you mean. That's the toughest one, right? Because if you're doing fire outdoors, it wouldn't even be on there. But for the coolness of the model, we paint it anyway. So I would paint it as just regular fire. I mean, pick your color, right? I would just do it in orange, yellow, red, like you would normally, and be okay with that. Because it's rule of cool at that point. Because, if you took a torch outside in the sun, you wouldn't even see anything. It just looked like a stick with wavy air around it. You wouldn't see flame. Flame's only visible in the dark.
Bro Dad on TikTok.
That's not true. If you have enough flame and a house is burning in the middle of the day, you will see the flame. You'll see the flame against the smoke. But that's one of the things that the firefighters are always talking about, that fire in the middle of the day at a broad sense is funny because you can get burned away from what you can visibly see because the flame actually exists outside of the spot where you can see it.
That doesn't make any sense to me, but... Super Duper John, a big shout out for the person who packed my niece's birthday bash base set. I asked for a single unicorn sticker, and they gave me a bunch of every sticker.
Awesome.
Fulfillment.
Yeah, reprint depends on what, because like chemical fire and stuff, you can see a lot differently. Some chemicals burn, you can't see them at all. Like racing fuel, that's a scary thing when you see the race car driver dancing around. He's on fire, but you can't see it.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, back in the old days, Indy, I think as a kid, there was on the Indianapolis 500, a guy caught fire, jumped up out of the car and was running around beating himself, but you couldn't see it. Like to everybody else, it looked like he was spooked by a ghost, but he's on fire. Yeah.
Bees!
Bees! Bees! But yeah, I think rule of cool, you just paint it. You just paint it as flame. Pick your poison. NASA walking around with brooms held in front of them to give the invisible fire. What? Brooms? Oh, to see if there was one? Because then the broom would burn? Is that what you're saying? Interesting. It would ignite? Yeah, there's a point where you don't let reality get in the way of your fantasy. It can make things reality can make things very uninteresting or very interesting, but in miniature painting it would make things way less interesting, I think, if we stuck to reality. Because this big thing, Like, number one, nobody would put gold on armor. Let's just get real. Unless it was the king's armor and he never went to war, you just wouldn't put gold on armor. It's a soft metal that provides nothing.
Oh.
Right? And we have so many models that have like gold and all these other things on them. So that's always fun for me to...
OJ Matthias said, you answered my question. It's what I thought. Think I'm getting too caught up on realism when I should just do what looks rad.
Yeah, just do the rule of cool for Space Marines 100%. It doesn't mean that you can't also do bring some realism into them for like weathering and things like that, if you feel like that's something you want to attempt to do. But, you know, when the flame is sculpted on the model, I don't want to cut it off. You know, I don't want to lose the opportunity to show something cool just because I'm hung up on, well, that flame wouldn't be there. Well, actually, right? I hit somebody with that today. I was very proud. There was a comment on one of our videos today, and I hit him with the, well, actually, I put the meme on there. I put the meme on there because the guy did it. I was not in the mood. So I put the thing on there, right? I go, somebody's not paying attention. I have fun every now and then. I get to be snarky every now and then.
The NASA broom method was used to detect hydrogen fires.
Okay, yeah, because then the broom would start to be burning away, even though you couldn't see the flame, right? That was the reason. That's what I draw from that. Is if they'd walk with it out in front of them, then the broom hairs on the broom would start to burn, and they could see that where they couldn't see the flame. Fuel splash during refueling, a firebolt engulf the car. Yikes.
Eesh. Bao Bay on TikTok bought the Flame On paint set and many other Protocol paints, but can we talk about the bottle? What would you like to talk about? They're the best. Is that what you want to say?
Yeah, they are literally the best.
Coco on TikTok said, those lines are crisp.
Why, thank you. I'm just doing, you can see I've kind of cheated it. I haven't even done the second coat of color on any of the rest of it. I kind of yesterday, I got sick of painting the middle tone. And so now I'm going off to the bright tone, but now I've kind of run out of space to do that. I have to go back to the middle tone or switch to something else. So I got to make decisions.
So Bao Bay, you know that it's just a twist up. You're not going to pull the whole top off. Bao Bay is saying the design of the opening bit is not very well done. It wastes a lot of paint, and I have to clean up a lot of excess every time. So
it wastes nothing.
Twist it up. It's just like a mustard or like an Elmer's glue top. You just twist it just till it's open. Squeeze out a tiny bit. Close it, and then you dab it. You can. There's a couple things you could do. You can tap the bottle on the table before you close it. Some of the paint will run down, or you close it and you wipe that remaining little bit onto your palette and use it.
Yeah, it's literally just open it up, right? Go over to the palette.
Oh, sorry.
Keep the palette can.
Yeah, palette can.
Right, you just put out what you need. Twist the cap closed, the little part will come up, and wipe it on your palette. Boom, now you're done.
Usable
That'll
paint.
dry, but that's much less paint. Believe it or not, the reason that people think we waste a lot of paint is because you can see it. But if you look at your dropper caps and you take off all the dropper tops and look inside of them, you've wasted way more paint over the years in dropper caps than you will ever waste with this. Because you'll use everything except for the thin skin that's on there. And as that dries, right, I mean, you can wipe it all on your palette and use it. And as that dries, when you crack it open, the worst case is you might have to pick a little bit off and toss that little ring away. But yeah, you waste so much less with this. Could
you put have like a damp paper towel or a little sponge next to you and wipe it clean right there when you close it? So that part doesn't dry on the top? Could you do that?
I like it because it shows me what the actual color is.
I mean, I'm asking for someone who thinks that it's messy.
Yeah. Painting is messy.
While you're on the palette, hold on, let me find this again. Okay, here we go. Question from Halionati on YouTube. Can you explain what your glass palette is and why you don't use a wet palette?
Sure.
Do you want to be on the palette, or do you want me to go back to your painting?
No, we don't need to be on the palette.
Okay. You're a little out of frame. Center up, Jason.
Oh, geez. Stop yelling at me. Thought I was amongst friends here. So I prefer a dry palette. The reason for me is that the paint on the dry palette is always the way it came out of the bottle until it dries up, right? So it doesn't matter as it's curing or whatever, it's still going to be the same as it was out of the bottle. It's going to give me the same opacity that the paint was in the bottle. So I've been painting for over 45 years. I get used to expecting what a particular color in a particular bottle is going to do. Whether it doesn't matter what kind of paint it is, right? We've obviously made pro acryl because of all of my years of painting and having to work to make paint actually do the job I need it to do was taking too much of my time when I had limited time to paint. So pro acryl is the birthed out of the idea that the paint should just work right out of the bottle. First off, so when I put paint out, I know what opacity it is. If I bought a new color, I put it out and I play with it and I say, okay, this paint acts like this. So then I put it on my palette and I know how it always acts. So I know what exactly I need to do to that color to get it to do what I want to do on the model. If it's really opaque like white or black, and I need to thin it down to glaze with, I know how much water to put on my brush to go get a little bit of paint on and it'll glaze correctly. So the paint is always out of the question as to if it's causing you a problem or if there's something wrong with the paint that's causing me not to get what I want on the model. Our paint and a dry palette make sure that you are the only thing in between the model and getting it right. And so if it's something you need to learn to do differently or whatever, you always know the paint's acting exactly the way it should. So on a dry palette, always the same as out of the bottle. I know what to do with it. Perfectly controllable. Wet palettes, I'm going to offend people, but wet palettes are largely a placebo. They do not make your paint last longer in all situations because if you spread your paint thin, then it can dry up on a wet palette just like it does anywhere else. The one thing that they do is when you're mixing, they keep mixes active longer because when you spread the paint, if you go back over to the palette real quick, I will use it for this. I have a video up on the YouTube that Chris put up, but a lot of times when you're mixing, you see like down here, when you're mixing two colors, I'll take a little bit of this color just to show you. If I mix these two colors together, in order to mix, just the idea of mixing spreads the paint out because I have to, mesh them together. So now I've got this cool color and I'm like, oh, that's perfect. Dry palette sucks for that because that, by the time I go and I take a brush load of that and go paint with it and then come back, it's probably dry because you've spread it so thin that everything air can touch starts to evaporate. The droplet has more liquid than surface area because it's a bubble, and so the surface area is just a small amount of the liquid. So while it's curing, you can still use this drop for a long time. Here you don't have that. Here it's very thin and it all dries equally, and it dries out and you can't revitalize it on a dry palette. So for that, if you paint with a lot of mixes, wet palettes are fantastic because they do a great job of keeping that mix hydrated so that you can use it even though it's thin. Okay, but they will dilute this droplet the whole time it's sitting there. More water will intrude into the paint, and that will constantly dilute the color so that by the time you've been painting for an hour, that color won't look the same when you just dip your brush into it and go to the model. So a lot of people that paint with a lot of glazing and a lot of thin opacity layers will love a wet palette because it helps to dilute the paint. If you paint in a lot of opaque layers and you glaze and opaque and glaze and opaque and you do that kind of transition, then a dry palette might be something that will help you recognize the power of your technique more. So because you're not fighting it as much with over diluted paint and having to add more paint to your wet palette over time and things like that. So it becomes subjective a lot of the time as to what your process is. But I feel like the fact that most people think they have to buy a wet palette in order to paint miniatures causes a lot of people to paint incorrectly, because you will spend more time trying to learn what the wet palette is doing to your paint rather than just putting the paint on the model and learning the technique you're trying to learn. So that's why I'm on the fence. I say if you love it and you can use it and it does great for you, use them. They're fantastic for the people that love them. I don't use them. I do 100% of my painting, and I would put my painting up against anybody, and I don't have any problems doing any of it with a dry palette. Cyrus Pie, this one's just off of Amazon. It's New Wave. Can you go back to the regular camera? This is a New Wave Fine Art Products, newwaveart.com. But I get it on Amazon, and we always buy them on Amazon, and we have two of them here in the studio. It's just this is like a 9x12 piece, and it's painted with this enamel gray on the back so that it gives you a good neutral tone. I would say don't use a clear piece and don't use a white piece. Ceramic tiles from the hardware store work really well, but again, don't buy white. White's always going to be the cheapest. It's going to be the first thing you grab, but don't, because the white background makes your colors all look darker than they are. So a neutral gray like this, not too dark, not too bright, will make the colors exactly what they are. So that's why it's gray.
GK Models, we are in Arizona, driest place in America. And
I think our average daily humidity is under 7%, I think. All right, we just soak it. We put it in a 5-gallon. We have a 5-gallon bucket. We manufacture paint, so we use a lot of 5-gallon buckets to mix stuff in. And we just have one that's loaded with water and a little bit of simple green soap. And you just dunk it in there for overnight, and then you come in the next day and scrape it off, and it's back to clean. Rinse it, you're done.
A couple things over on TikTok. First of all, Silk and Shadows, thank you for sharing the live. And then Colorblind Painter said, I love ProCo primers. The paint and one-step paints are fantastic too.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff about the caps. Not in TikTok, but in just our regular chat.
We've had a ton of people that, we started offering the flip cap and the dropper cap. And when you realize they don't seal, you realize that the twist cap we use was built around the idea to keep the paint fresh so you get to use all your paint. The little bit that wastes on the top is commensurate to every other paint bottle you'll ever find, but the thing that we do that they don't is we actually seal, and your paint will stay good for years as long as you remember to close it. And I get it. Some people are OCD and like, I don't like the mess on the cap. I don't like that, I have a cap that has a drip on it. And I'm like, and I come from a world where painting is messy, dude. And this is clean to me.
Yeah. Because someone, I think it was Haley, said that I was painting with my friend last night. His dropper bottle top exploded off because there was the clog, and that's not going to happen with the twist caps.
Never.
Unless you forget to twist it closed. It might clog a little bit, but it's never going to
The worst thing that happens to you is you forget to close it, and then you do this.
Shake it.
And it's like, oh, my walls are now whatever color I have in my hand.
So if you are a regular user of Pro Acryl, certain things will become muscle memory. Like you might just start shaking it with your finger over the top just in case. A lot of people just know too with Pro Acryl, you're gonna burp the bottle right before you open the twist part. You just unscrew a little bit at the neck.
They seal.
They can't see that.
Right, we have a real seal, and so if you travel with it, or if you have it go from hot to cold,
or if you live in just certain climates and elevations,
humidity, all that. If you notice that you open a paint and it burps a little paint out, then just for the rest of your paints, just crack the lid before you use them. You just have to crack it a little bit, just like if you had accidentally dropped a 2-liter bottle of Coke. You would crack the lid to let the pressure off before you just opened it and had it foam everywhere.
Exactly.
It's what sealed liquids do. And they don't have to be carbonated to do that. Any pressure change in a sealed bottle creates a deal where if the air is overpressurized, now it's trying to take up more space. And so as soon as you give it the ability, it tries to rush out to take up space in the atmosphere, and it will push all the paint above it out too. So that's just what happens. Yeah. But that's the seal doing it, and that's the good part about our paint. Correct. Is that it does seal and guarantees that you get to use all that paint. We give you more paint, we make it last longer, all a good thing.
Yeah. And we absolutely understand that people like what they like what they're used 100%. To. They want everything to be the same, but we're not the same, in a lot of different ways. Mm-hmm. So
we didn't make the same paint in the same bottle for a reason.
Exactly.
If we were going to make it, I'm an engineer in that way from product development, and I was like, well, if we're going to do it, what can we do differently? And I have to admit, they had to push me on this bottle type.
Yes, he didn't like it at first.
I didn't like it at first. So
but from an engineering standpoint,
hard to argue with.
The mechanics of it, it truly is superior.
Yeah. Hard to argue with.
Yeah.
It's the reason why the food industry uses this type of cap. Tattoo inks use this kind of cap.
Yep.
Lots and lots of things
We are not. Just because we might be the only miniature paint that has this kind of cap, you find this cap in the world in so many different uses.
Yeah, it's funny because the only reason we use dropper caps in the hobby world is because the people that were making the first hobby paints that came in small bottles outside of Citadel, I mean, look, Citadel doesn't use one. They use an even worse lid. But the only reason we do is because the manufacturers, that was the only bottle they had available to them to put it in small amounts. And so it was just random. Nobody engineered it. It just was what they had. Yeah. And so we're kind of stuck with it. And I always look at things like that and say, why is this way? And when you can't find an answer other than, well, that was what was available, then you start looking at, well, what would be better? Is there anything that's better? And yeah, we get it's normal. And people are like, yeah, but that's what I'm used to. I'm like, yeah, well, there's been a lot of things in your life you're used to that when you changed it got better.
Yeah.
And that's the way we look at our stuff.
Remember the old Facebook algorithm? Terrible.
Wow, you went there. You gave Facebook props in a painting conversation. That's brave.
It's relatable.
It's
Several
relatable.
questions. I will get to them. I'm going all the way back to the one that came in first, and then we'll just go in order. So if you've got a question in, I'm scrolling through. You don't have to repeat it. I will get to it. Just give me a minute. Justin said, airbrush question. I used my airbrush today for the first time in a while. It's an HPCS. All
Okay.
went well, but the paint didn't release until I had the trigger like 95% back.
Okay.
What do I need to loosen/tighten? Is it the chuck nut?
No.
That was Chris's stripper name.
That means there is some form of a clog if there's no paint until you're all. That's what this is, HPCS. So if you're down with air and you're back and you're not seeing paint come until you've got the trigger at full pull, then it means that somewhere along the line the aperture isn't opening up, and that means that paint or some sort of, it could be water. So whenever you leave your brush for a long time, I always undo the chuck and pull the needle back. You'll see the needle is seated correctly right now. It's all the way out of the front, right? If I take the cap off here, the cap, you'll see the needle. Here, let me pop in close. Right.
Sorry.
There's a needle. That's the normal way it should sit, right? The needle's sticking out. This would paint as normal if we applied pressure and put paint in it, right? So you can leave your brush like that, but I typically will loosen it, right? And then I will pull it to where I can see the needle down there, right? See that? I will leave it to where I can see the point of the needle just going into the opening there. So the point of the needle goes just into that hole, and then tighten the chuck down. Oop. So now you're not going to hurt the needle, right? You know, I mean, I guess if a rock fell down in there, it might bend it, but if you're throwing rocks inside the cup, you got other problems, right? It's not going to harm anything by doing that. And what it allows you to do is now when we store them, they're typically at an angle like this in the holder. Hopefully you don't just lay it flat. But if it's at an angle like it's supposed to be, then it lets all of the moisture that you've had from cleaning it drain out. And now that the needle is backed out, the moisture will actually go all the way out the nozzle and drip out of the unit. And that keeps things like in Arizona, we have really hard water. So water staining will calcify and create all sorts of weird, you know, like bad plumbing looking stuff. And if you have the needle jammed in there, then all that water sits around the nozzle and can't get out, because with the needle fully forward, paint can't come out. And so that water builds up and you get that calcification, those hard minerals in your water start to collect around the needle. And even though the needle might move, that stays there and makes the hole narrower. And so the needle has to pull back further before it creates an opening for paint to go around, because you have all of that residue that's built up. It could be paint, it could be hard water, depends, right? But that's what it is. If you're having to pull all the way back before you get paint, it's because the nozzle is clogged. So clean your nozzle, let it soak. You know, you might have a situation with my needle back. I can do this. Let me take this off. This little bit right here, right, is the collector cap. And this little hole right in that, where the nozzle comes out, that needs to be perfectly round, right? And so paint can dry up on the face of this, as you know, and make it to where it turns into an oval or constricts it there too, and paint can't get around that. So make sure that you clean that just with a little pipe cleaner, and make sure that that doesn't have anything blocking it, right? It's hard to see, but make sure that that's completely round and doesn't have any paint in it. It should be shiny and clean on the inside.
Oh, it's nice and clean.
And not have any color on the outside. Yeah, I had to deep clean this the other day.
Oh.
I was spraying so much, so frequently lately with all these armies that I'm doing, and I'm like priming, and then I'm doing 4 coats of paint for base coats, and I'm going fast, and I was not cleaning well.
We got lots of painted models going on over here.
So that's the big thing. But that's when you have to pull the trigger back too far, and that's when you notice, like if you're painting and it was painting fine, and then you notice that during painting you're having to pull it back further and further and further as you paint, that's usually because the tip is becoming clogged with paint. Tip dry is causing it to clog the brush, and you're having to pull back further to get that hole to open up bigger because there's paint at the end of the needle. So you might have to pull that off and pull the dry paint off and things like that.
And yeah, Slavic, he said pipe cleaner will work. There's like little airbrush cleaning kits that you can get.
Right? These?
Yeah. Well, those are pretty dirty.
This one?
They come white.
No, they don't. They come black.
Oh.
Some do, but these were not
like
white.
ours
ever,
were
no.
white. The ones we used to
These
sell
were not white. These were black. But
like, wow, those are really gross.
yeah, but this little one will go through the opening in the nozzle usually, and then there's stage sizes up, and then typically I don't know what the big one is really used for, but the next to the biggest one will go back into the body of the brush and clean the back seal and things like that. So make sure you have one of those.
And then related to the airbrush, there was a question about the little pad, the finger black thing.
That is the black pad from our airbrush that we used to make with Grex. We no longer make that airbrush, so they are a much wanted commodity right now. I think Grex sells their own, which is the bright green one. So while not as cool looking, is definitely as functional, and I love them.
All right. Shadow Cat. First of all, I have to acknowledge that there was someone on TikTok who joined whose name was Poopfire.
Poopfire?
Yeah, and I know that that's a big problem lately, so thank you for joining us.
Don't eat at Taco Bell.
Shadowcast said, I think a demo on how to apply the correct highlights on specific shapes for both metallic and non-metallic metal painting might be a good idea. I struggle a lot with understanding how the reflections are supposed to work on actual pieces, the difference between a cylinder or a sphere, for example.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can talk about it more as I paint, right? That's really what it is. That as I'm doing this, a lot of people are always asking, like, what's causing you to put the paint where you're putting it right now? Right. And so the first thing is always, and I'm not, going to be able to do a full lesson right now, but we can always talk more about it. The first thing you're doing is placing your light, right? And then looking at the surface of these shapes and saying, okay, well, if the light is coming from over here like this, then I need to make sure that this side of this channel thing is brighter than this side over here on the right, because the light's coming from here and it has a crest to it. So I will probably paint this entirety of this side with the orange brown, which is my mid-tone color. And then I'll use more of the bright tone on here as well with the khaki when I get to that point, because the light is going to hit and reflect off of this entire surface. Maybe not right here under the crest, but I'm going to go ahead and paint it anyway because I don't care. Right? That's a decision you have to make with how much realism are you trying to pull off. And my brain is looking at these shapes and saying, okay, well, what are these shapes as I'm painting them? And this right here is more of the side of a cube, even though it's not the shape, right? But it's a flat surface. And so the first thing I do is, okay, it's a flat surface. So what am I say flat. It has a radius this way at the back, but the way that I'm looking at it that it's flat is it has a peak like a pyramid here. It goes up this way and it slants down this way as it goes along the back here. So while it has a little bit of a radius as it goes over the back, right, it's actually flat on this face here, which is where my light's hitting it, so I'm brightening the entire face. If this were all curved dramatically too, then it would make it more sphere-like. But because they put that sharp spine in the middle that makes it slant more as instead of a radius, makes it more of a slant, then I treat it like a flat face and highlight it that way. So I treat it more like the side of a cube than a part of a sphere. Whereas this area here is more round, and I would have to highlight it more like a sphere, which is what I've done from the top here with a radial highlight on the black armor part, right? So I'm constantly looking, and my brain is just kind of tuned into making that decision on the fly because I've been doing it so long. But you may want to stop and think and actually process as you're starting to do this. Like, okay, what am I looking at right here? What is this shape? What is going to give me the best effect here? Here, it starts to be more of a cylindrical thing. This is flatter. This now follows the curvature or the radius of the body, even though it curves in this way. So this one I probably want to be brighter kind of in this area where a cylinder would highlight, and then go back to darker as it falls off and as it goes up to the top here, bring the brightness here. Something like this. Right, so it then gets darker as it goes off. I'll still catch the edge for the shine. And again, I'm sketching, right? So with this, we just kind of play around and we say, okay, how bright do we want to go? And sketch your light on. That's what makes it really nice to be able to treat your mid-tone layer like this. If you're doing a display piece, you may be a little more careful and feather the edges. so that you go from darker to lighter more easily and don't have to come back and fix it all. But a lot of painters, I know myself included, will just sit here and sketch it rough. I can't be too rough with this because I don't want to get paint on the armor itself, because we did that with airbrush. I don't want to have to go back and fix that. Right, but that starts to set up where I'm a little bit darker as this curve comes up, because the sun coming down here might not hit it all, but I could choose to brighten it up more if I wanted to. But it'll give a more of a feel of that radius if I leave it a little bit dark up at the top. Again, it's really just learning those shapes. I'm always telling you, go to Google, pull the images of steel cube, steel cylinder, steel cone, steel pyramid, steel sphere, and then start looking at those on a regular basis as you're painting a model. Try to figure out what this shape I'm painting is closest to. And it's hard because none of this reads like one of those shapes you'll pull off. This bronze piece I'm doing is like, what the hell am I going to find on the internet that shows me how that reflects light? Nothing. This model, you'd have to go say Death Jack and look and see how other people have painted it, right? In order to pull it off the same way, because you're not going to go get something that's inclusive of this shape. But that's where your brain just has to estimate and say, yes, like this is a side of a cylinder, right? And so I've highlighted it like a cylinder, because on a cylinder, things band. Look at like I said earlier, look at the ferrule of my brush. That's a cylinder. It's more of a cone because it gets narrow at the top, but it reflects like a cylinder. See how it has 2 reflection lines on it, right? So that's what I've done here, is I've created multiple reflection lines along this slice of a cylinder, because this is just a thin slice, just like a thin slice out of this ferrule on my paintbrush would be. And I have a vertical highlight here and a vertical highlight here, and then I've added another one down here just for posterity's sake, because it looks cool, right? And then there's other shapes that are flat and yada, yada, yada. So I'm always just estimating what it's closest to and then saying, okay, I'm going to highlight it like that. That's really all it is. Because like this toe, what is that? It's kind of a pyramid. Right? It has a round instead of just a flat face, but that's okay. So I just treat it like a pyramid and highlight it from the point down and get darker on the bottom for that. But then this thing, the band that goes around the top of his foot, I do like a cylinder again. And then I just kind of match where my brightness is as it goes, how it would, piece to piece if I can. So I'm oversimplifying it. But, definitely if you see me doing this, feel free in chat to go, why did I just put a light where I just put a light? Because it's easier for me at the time to say, oh, because. Burp.
Crown Samurai on TikTok. Hello. We're doing great. How are you? Artemis Maximus said, it's been 7+ years since I've painted because I lost everything. Finally bounced back, going all in on Pro Acryl, mainly because of Monument's vision and quality. Can't wait for my paints. Thank you
so much. That means the world.
Yep.
Thank you.
That's the best compliment ever.
Yeah, we definitely have a way of doing things.
People say they believe in us. People recommend us. That's the best thing for us. We love that so much and appreciate it.
And welcome to the painting game
again.
Welcome
back. Yeah.
I love hearing stories of people returning.
Me too.
As much as I love hearing stories of people trying it for the first time, because I have left the hobby multiple times. Or I say left, just not paid attention to it. Stuffed stuff in a closet and gone off and thought about other things. And every time I come back and pick a brush up and start painting again, I'm like, why did I stop doing this? Right? Why did I decide? And a lot of times in my life, I don't mind saying it, it was because I was embarrassed, right? It was not something like imagine when I met Jen. Jen didn't know I did this, nope. Right? It's not something you lead with on a date. For me.
Some people might.
For me.
Yeah.
Right, for me. It wasn't what I led with. Like on the first date, I'm like, oh yeah, and I paint little men.
1.5 years.
Right?
Before I knew.
And so.
Because he wasn't doing it. It's not like he was doing it in secret. He had. Or were you?
I was, yeah. Yeah, I painted over on 30th Avenue. I did not, once we moved over to the other one and I started hanging out with you more, then no, I put it away. Because when I started...
he gave all his time to me.
Yeah, I really did. And that was it, because that's where your focus goes. And it still was something where I wasn't like, yeah, it's kind of nerdy. Maybe we tell her later.
I believe, though, that in that time that we've been together, it has become more mainstream.
Oh, 100%.
Like it really feels like it. I tell
Over the
this
past
story a lot.
decade, our hobby has become something that you no longer have to be ashamed about telling people you do. The advent of D&D being done by
So Stranger
celebrities,
Things.
Stranger
I know D and
Things.
D is not the same exactly as what we do here, but I fully believe that Stranger Things and COVID together
Yep,
was a magic
huge,
combination that made it like,
huge,
hey, look at what
100%
people
huge,
do now.
100% huge.
I've told the story a lot, that when I was teaching, and this was again, I was done teaching before I met Jason, so this is well before that. One of my coworkers would reference his nerd hobby, and he would just say like, I do nerd things. He's like, I don't really talk about them, and he never specified. And in my mind, I had no idea this existed. So in my mind, it meant Star Wars, that he was like a Star Wars nerd, and he probably dressed up as like Darth Vader or something because he was really tall. That was what I assumed. Knowing when I learned about miniatures and painting and tabletop gaming, I was like, that's what he was talking about. I
Yeah,
bet.
yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it used to be something that I think a lot of people kept to themselves, because people didn't get it. It wasn't mainstream. It wasn't, something that, yeah, like Henry Cavill talked about. So, yeah, it's definitely come a long way. And now I think, yeah, sure, people probably lead with it. And like, I think people meet each other through the hobby and through the games now.
Oh, 100% they do.
So,
We have a lot of people in the community that have.
yeah, it's pretty cool. Repray wants to know if there is a methodology for the gold. Which gold are you talking about? What he's doing now?
No.
Because it's not gold, I don't think.
Well, it's more of a bronze.
Yeah.
But
We haven't done any recent methodologies, but there is a plethora of them on our website.
this color, no. Because I'm just making this up as I go right now. This is probably not the first time I've done this bronze. We did it on one of the Saturnine leader guy, his axe, but these are, it's just a nice 3-color workup. I've been really trying to show off lately how 2 or 3 colors is all you need to do non-metallic metal and get very good results. So getting you comfortable with mixing, but also getting you comfortable in not mixing with a 3-color like this, because I'm not mixing any of my colors at all. There's no mixing going on other than the blend that happens from glazing. That's it.
Pazia, I know this. I'm a little behind on some of the questions in chat, so I'm working. But Pazia, if you are still here, Pazia said, first of all, thanks for some great videos. How often should I rinse and clean the brush during paint sessions? For now, I paint about 3 to 5 minutes, 25 to 30% paint on the brush, but the bristles seem to be dried out after like 2 to 3 coats.
So when you're painting, you should be going and if you're painting normally, I believe for me, if I really think about it, it's very rare that I don't re-dampen the brush. So
Yeah.
like I just got done, the paint that I have on the brush will no longer give me the opacity in the area that I need. So I go back and I rinse the brush real quick, wipe it on my paper towel, and go get paint. I do that every time I reload my brush, unless I've just done a very wet coat of paint with a, more of a thin glaze, and I know my brush still has water on it, it just doesn't have much pigment. Then I might go back over to the palette and get just more paint, because I know I still have dampness on the brush that will work to make the paint flow. I just don't have paint. And so it's a collection of paying attention to what the brush feels like, how the paint's flowing off of it. But I would say that it's better to get used to going every brush load you're going to go get of color, at least get your brush damp again. You don't have to clean it. I'm just rinsing it real quick. I'm using the same color, so I'm not worried about cleaning the brush. I just really need it damp. Make sense? That's the goal. Because the dampness on your brush is the biggest thing that you will ever learn that helps you with your brush control and your painting. If you go over here and I rinse my brush and I come back over and I don't wipe it on my paper towel, look how much water I have, right? If I were to imagine what I do if I touch this brush to the paint on my palette, let's go and get some of this purple that's still here, right? That much water makes this kind of a glaze, right? The whole brush load of water makes this very watery purple that will let everything show through it and just tinge everything this color purple, right? So that much water on your brush creates a very light glaze that would be great for maybe glazing blush on cheeks or a little bit into a shadow someplace, something like that, right? So that much water does that. So you got to be careful because you don't want to leave that much on there. But normally I'll come over here and wipe, like for what I'm doing right now with the type of painting, I'm probably like 3, 4, 5 touches on the paper towel to get rid of the moisture. And now when I'm painting, I'm getting paint that acts like this, right? It's not quite as thin. I still have dampness on my brush, so that it allows the paint to flow nice and be smooth on the model. Because what it sounds like you're experiencing is if I just do this and now I'm done and now there's no more paint left and I go stick it in the paint again and I come back over here, it will stop. You're using up all the moisture to keep the paint flowing, and at some point in time you won't get nice, clean, crisp lines anymore. It'll start being like you're brushing, paint around with a dry brush like you're talking about. And you won't get nice, smooth consistency. And that's because I didn't re-moisten the brush. And I come over here and I get it all wet again, and I wipe it off on my paper towel about 4, 5, 6 times again, and this is what my paper towel looks like after a painting session, right? So I re-moisten my brush nearly every time unless there's something specific I'm doing where I don't have to. But I expect to have to. Does that make sense?
Yes. Chessboxing Ogre, when airbrushing, I'm in a small apartment. Should I use a makeshift paint station and a mask when airbrushing acrylics?
I always say yes. You'll notice we don't here in the studio. We have a large area, and we are not normally spraying for long periods of time at any one go. At the way that we're painting with acrylics, water-based acrylics are very heavy. So when you spray them, assuming you're not spraying at like 50 psi, if you're spraying around 20, 25 psi max, then you're not putting a lot of particulates into the air. But I don't want you to say, oh, he said no mask, and then you have some sort of respiratory issue. Because, you could be putting solids into the room, and your lungs don't like anything solid in them. So I would say a mask is enough. I've seen some people recently who take the little makeshift or purchased airbrush hoods, the little backstop thing, take that, and then they take the hose that should normally go and attach to your window and go out the window. They take the hose and they put it in a 5-gallon bucket with a lid. They cut a hole in the lid and put the hose in the lid, fill the bucket with a little bit of water, and then put a vent on there that has a piece of air, like air conditioning filter in it, so that the air goes into the bucket. The paint then gets drawn to the water and sits at the bottom, and the air that gets forced out has to go through the filter so no paint comes back into the room. That's a really unique way to do it if you don't have a window that's accessible. And those things, you can buy those on Amazon for like 50, 60, 70 bucks for the little painting hood thing. And it has a built-in fan and all that stuff. So if you want to do it right, I think that's a great way to do it. I've seen a lot of people doing it that way on social media lately, and that's a great idea for indoors where you don't have the ventilation. Excuse me.
Bless you. Dirty Breacher on TikTok, we talk about this a lot here. And we did actually have a conversation about it not too long ago. It's really, as far as why he uses a glass palette, it's personal preference.
Yep.
Wet palette is fine as well. There's a lot more detailed explanation that we talked about earlier today. This will be on YouTube when we're done here today. But yes, for him, it's personal preference.
I'm a control freak.
Yeah.
The paint is always the way I expect it.
He likes the paint to behave the way it is
palette.
when the way it's meant to be out of the bottle.
Yep. A wet palette changes the viscosity and the opacity of the paint over time. So every time you're going to it, you get to the point where the paint's a little bit different. And I don't like that. I like it to be exactly the way I need it.
Gillenborn wants to know if you are planning on teaching a class at Adepticon.
I am not. They've asked me and I said no.
He doesn't love to teach classes.
I do love the class. I don't like it at Adepticon because I have so much else going on.
And yes.
I'm teaching a class this next weekend at the Adepticon barbecue.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I'm teaching a class for everybody that goes there with One Step and Chromatic Undertones. So I'm doing a class at the Adepticon barbecue, which is going to be a lot of fun. Elizabeth Beckley Bradford's doing classes there. Hank likes to have classes for his employees to have some fun with a hobby. So we're going to give them some one step and hang out and do that. So I'll be teaching classes at that. At the show, it's really hard because I need every hour for the business we do there.
Yeah.
So it becomes really, really difficult for me. I wish I could. I told Dallas, because it's AMG sponsors me in a class there every year. And I told him this year I just can't.
Yeah.
I got too much going on. I need all that time back. I feel bad about it, but I just can't make it work.
Let's see who it was up here. Regarding the Squidmar Miniature Masters thing, I will just say that Jason doesn't watch reality shows.
Especially not ones that are biased. Those guys are painters. They're freaking competition painters that are doing a show about picking the best painter. That seems ludicrous to me because they can't possibly say they're not biased. So I thought that was very odd. I love the idea, though. And Aaron and Natalia, who are good friends of mine, are in there. And I wish them the best. I think it was great. For the community, I think it's a great thing. I think that those things need to be done in non-biased situations, and those guys are hyper-biased.
Let's see. Oh, any one-step methodologies coming up?
Oh. We have been focused on pulling content from the stream rather than making specific methodologies over the year. That has been kind of the direction that I've given Chris, is to find a way to allow him and Ryan to pull all this great content that we do on stream and make shorts out of it. And so that's really where we're at right now. We do have some cool methodology stuff coming. I don't know what where one-step stuff sits on there. It becomes part of our process, right? I don't really think in terms, after the standard, intro videos that we did, I don't think in terms of it just being a one-step thing, but we add them into the process a lot. Like, you'll see methodologies come in where we use one-step paints in the process for sure.
Bella Fleur, is there an ETA on the brush you are using for the EU?
They have Pro Acryl. They have the Pro Series number 4s in the EU.
This particular
It'll just have a red handle.
Yeah, that's the only difference.
These are made in the US. You will not see the US ones in Europe. You'll see the German ones in Europe. But the German, the brush head is German no matter what.
Yep.
These are all made in our same factory over in Germany. And then it's just whether or not we build the handle, do the varnish, the labeling, and everything of the handle, and then the final assembly with the crimp on the brush here in the States to have the US made ones.
Yep.
That just helps speed up and help our production, because every brush that we do is handmade in the Pro Series lines, and you can only make so many. And so our goal is to be able to make more brushes, because we can make some here, because the handle takes the longest time.
Yeah, so this particular handle will not be available in the EU, but the brush, the actual top part of the brush that you use, is exactly the same.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. So if you wanted a number 4 that performs like what you see me doing here, they're already there.
Let's see. Oh, well, Cliff Jumper said, Ryan is one of my favorite humans. I was so happy when he started working for Monument Hobbies. He's
awesome.
Okay.
Ryan is great.
He's been.
I got to go to lunch. We do a what do you call a 1-up anniversary lunch here? I think I forget what we call it. You skip your manager. You go to your manager's manager takes you out on your anniversary lunch, so that you get to have the ability to converse with people that are not just your normal manager. So when you have your anniversary, I get to take all those people to lunch.
Not the review. Okay.
Not review, just your anniversary lunch. And so Ryan and I had a really great time. We went to Federal Pizza, and it's fun for me because I get to basically, if they have questions about the business they want to ask that maybe their managers aren't privy to, or that they just don't feel comfortable asking their managers, they get to talk to me. But also I just get to hang out and learn more about what makes people tick. Yeah. And it's fun. Ryan's a great guy. He's coming to play War Machine with us tonight, I think.
Oh, nice. It is 4:05.
We've got him hooked. Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Holy.
There are still a couple questions.
Yeah, I can answer some questions, but we do kind of need to tidy up because I've got an errand I got to run too. So.
Oh, okay. From YouTube, HWRSB, about the finish of some different paints. Burnt red is the main example. I have found that I'm getting an almost textured finish despite a lack of over thinning. How do you avoid this?
So I never know the language that people use. You say a lack of over thinning. Over thinning is not necessarily the question. It's too wet of an application of paint. So the pigment can be sliding around. All of our paints have a texture to them because they're ultra matte. So rather than a satin or a gloss, if you look at the satin black, it's going to look really smooth compared to coal black, but they're the same. If I take the gloss out of the satin black, it looks the same. There's no reason for it. That would be something where I would say shoot some photos to us, either on the Discord or at customer service, and we can take a look, and I can help you out with it. But the grainy texture of paints comes more from flooding the surface with too much wetness. And then when the water evaporates, the pigment's been allowed to settle into clumps. And so with our paint, you don't need to thin except for opacity. Just the way it goes. A damp brush, paint from the bottle, paint. And you won't ever have any of those problems. If you are too wet on the wet palette, putting too much water on your brush, even though it's not over thinning, meaning that you're still not killing the opacity necessarily, but there's too much moisture hitting the model, that can cause problems. But it's very rare. Like you would know, right? But it's better if I can see a picture of it. Then I can help you more.
And you can send that to support@monumenthobbies.com. Or like Jason said, you can contact us in Discord.
Yeah. I like this guy. I think this Crix army is going to look good. I'm going to do the bright yellow green witch flame on all of the stacks of where the flame comes out. So like they are standard. So I think that's really going to punch it up a notch. If I can ever get rid of all this chaos trim, holy. I always tell people I won't paint Chaos Marines because of this, and here I am painting Crix. Bastages.
It's Friday, right? I don't see Kenny.
Is he not streaming?
I don't see him streaming.
Uh-oh.
Must be taking a day off.
Florida man. Oh, I think maybe was Kenny traveling to do a class up north?
Oh, there was something in
Florida. I saw him post something about maybe. Florida man in Wisconsin or something like that.
Yeah, I did see Jade is on. Kenny is off today, so we'll get you over to Jade.
Yeah, exactly. Bargain iceholes.
I think I got all the questions. I think that was the last one. I thought there were a couple more, but so we will get you some links.
Everybody, thanks so much for hanging out with us.
Thank you for all of the follows today, the resubs. I am really bad at calling those out. But Twitch,
we don't get alerts for it anymore.
Well, if you're watching just on Twitch, you see them.
Right.
But I've got all kinds of stuff going on here. It's so high tech now. It's not like the old days.
It's efficient.
Thank you for all of the follows, the likes, the shares on TikTok, Twitch, YouTube.
I'm really stoked. Thank you for becoming part of the community through TikTok. We just started streaming on TikTok last week. And so this is the second week we've been doing TikTok, and it's been a great community. Tons of people joining us. It's funny, right? We're like, TikTok. Everybody watches things for 5 seconds.
I love TikTok.
And we stream for 2 hours. And it's been great because we've had a lot of new people join the community, a lot of great questions coming from it. So thank you so much for joining us over there. Make sure to hit the follow or the sub button, depending on the platform, because we've streamed to damn near everywhere now. We'll be streaming to Facebook even
and Instagram soon.
Coming up.
Yep.
So the meta crowd will be ready for us if you watch over there. But Twitch, YouTube, Kick, and TikTok right now. So make sure you follow, set up for alerts for when we go live. We do this Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. for 2 hours a day, Monday through Friday, Mountain Standard Time here at Monument Hobbies HQ. We'd love to see you back. And make sure to check out all the links. We've got a wonderful Discord community of over 7,000 amazing artists, just like you guys and gals. So great inspiration over there, great friends to be made. We have a lot of really, really fantastic community members that are willing to help and check it out and enjoy painting together and talk stories and show off pets and food and bad dad jokes, you name it. We got you covered. Great place to hang out, make new acquaintances in the hobby.
Not streaming on X or LinkedIn yet.
No. No, we're not streaming on
LinkedIn. Oh, Bud,
LinkedIn.
who's the show this weekend?
So what's that?
I was asking Bud. Bud said it's showtime. I was wondering who the show is this weekend, but we're probably going to sign off because YouTube has a little bit of a delay. So
Have a good one,
might
Bud.
not get that answer.
But thank you so much, everybody. Stick around. Jen's going to find us somebody to raid. Sounds like Jade. We're going to go bug Jade.
Yeah.
So one of our community members is streaming. She's great. So show some love in Jade's chat when we get there. And have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to go blow some people up in War Machine and probably lose. But I'm going to have a good time losing it. So have a wonderful weekend. Don't do anything we wouldn't do, and we'll catch you back here on Monday.
Bye.
See you guys.